I'm live. I know where my other... It's not showing my other video. That's weird. Okay, hold on. So let me get... Weird. All right, so if you're just joining us, Larry Millete was arrested for the murder of his wife, Maya Millete, who's been missing, well, his last been heard from January 7th, was reported missing on January 10th. Okay, and he was arrested today, October 19th. He's been a person of interest since July 22nd, I believe, and a lot of us have been, who have been following this, have been waiting for this. So, again, Larry Millete has been arrested today at his home. There's a press conference coming up, which we're going to listen to. And I'm going to... Oh, no, I don't like that. I don't want that. Hang on. Post a photo of earlier today at Maya and Larry's house. Come on. Let's go. Okay, so got that. Now, let me go and find where we're going to watch this press conference. Okay. Let me see here. One second. Let me just grab this. Okay. Come on. Okay. See where we're going to see this press conference. I'm going to pull up something here. Okay, let's see what this is. Here we go. I'm going to show you something here. Okay, this is from the Chula Vista Police Department, a police media advisory. October 19th, 2021, San Diego media to the Chula Vista Police Department. Lieutenant D. Peak is the contact. A joint conference has been scheduled to announce an arrest in the Maya Millete investigation. The press conference will take place Tuesday, October 19th at 3 p.m. Now see, it says 3 p.m. In the other report, it said 3:30. So I don't know whether they changed that or not. And if they didn't change it, then we're going to have to watch it on replay. City of Chula Vista Chief Roxana Kennedy and San Diego County District Attorney Summer Stephan will be present at the press conference to discuss the arrest and provide an update on the investigation. It has been over 9 months since the disappearance of Maya Millete. Since 1/11/2021, detectives from the Chula Vista Police Department have continuously investigated May's disappearance. Chula Vista Police Department has worked daily with the multi-agency working group, including the San Diego County District Attorney's Office, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the Naval Criminal Investigative Services, NCIS, with the primary goal of finding the reason behind the disappearance of Maya Millete. Detectives have shared leads and evidence regarding May's disappearance with the multi-agency working group. The investigators have conducted numerous search warrants on physical locations, digital evidence, and social media content, as well as conducted interviews of witnesses to generate new leads and obtain evidence. The investigators have also followed up on every tip or lead received since May's disappearance. The investigative steps and efforts to date are below. Interviews with 87 individuals to include family members, friends, neighbors, and witnesses. Written 67 search warrants to include residences, vehicles, cellular and electronic devices, call detail records, financial records, social media, and cloud data. Search warrant served at May's home on 1/23/2021. Search warrant served at Malletti's relative's home on April 1st, 2021. Search warrant served at May's home on 5/7/2021. A gun violence restraining order served on 5/7/2021 to Larry Millete. A search warrant served at May's home on 7/1/2021. Reviewed over 130 tips on May's possible location and reason for disappearance. These tips have come in from local community and from around the country. Most recent tips continue to include possible sightings of May in different areas of the country. 7/22/2021, Larry Millete, May's husband, was named a person of interest in the case. CVPD investigators continue to consider Larry Millete a person of interest in May's disappearance. Today, the Chula Vista Police Department is announcing the arrest of Larry Millete for the murder of his wife, May. A joint press conference will take place in front of the Chula Vista Police Department at 3 to provide an update on the investigation and the arrest of Larry Millete. Okay, so let me go to this right here and see what's going on. Why did they report it at 3:30? We'll just watch it on a replay if that's the case. Okay, it doesn't look like, oh, here, we're okay. I don't think it started yet. Hold on. Hang on.
And the battery's good on it?
Put this over. We're okay. We'll finish that other thing later. We're okay. So, yeah, let me pull that other up here and we'll finish that while we're waiting here. This is only a little bit. The investigation continues to be ongoing, and anyone who may have information regarding May's disappearance is asked to please contact San Diego Crime Stoppers at 888-580-8477 or Chula Vista Police Department 619-691-5151. No matter how small the detail, we ask the public to share that information with investigators or Crime Stoppers. For any questions, media are asked to direct all future inquiries to Lieutenant Dan Peak at 619-585-5610. So, okay, now we're just waiting for this. So it is 6:30. It should be starting here in about 4 minutes. So we'll just wait here. This is Chula Vista Police Department. And they've been working on this case, and that I'm going to just pull into the chat so I can see what you guys are saying. Lieutenant Dan Peak at 619-585-5. Stop that right there. Let's see. Protect Maya's children. Lock up Larry. Well, Larry is locked up, right? Finally, Justice for. Been waiting a long time for this. Why do I not? Hang on, let me just go, because I'm not seeing the chat as I should. There we go. Now I am. Okay. So we'll just wait here. This will be starting very, very soon. Mike. Hi, Deanna. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Kevin Leonard, Irene, Deborah Van Couverton, Rachel, Kelly. I got you, Irene. Amasutra, Tracy Thomas, Amy Margolin. You know, Amy Margolin, you don't have a brother, Michael, do you? I don't remember if his sister's named Amy. Did you grow up in New Jersey? Around Clifton? I wonder. Let's see, Sharon Parker, Kathy Baleo, Davita Lane, Realty, Sasshole, Justice for Linda Gelb, Lisa Nia Chase, John Wasaki, Mike, for about a month, even though she admitted both poor gal on last night's Mine have been days. Oh, you have Facebook messages there? I don't know why you don't email me, Mike. You know what the problem is? You do that on my Mommy Ramblings, and I have to change from my regular Facebook to my Mommy Ramblings in order to see them, and it's a pain in the you-know-what. I wish you'd just emailed me, but I'll check it out later. Let's listen to this now.
We love you, Mary Chris.
There's Mary Chris.
We love you. Alonzo family. Woo! Okay. Team Maya. Not going anywhere.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lieutenant Dan Peak from the Chula Vista Police Department, and I oversee our Criminal Investigations Division. Thank you all for coming on such short notice today. Before we get into the press conference, I want to recognize a few individuals that are here. Of course, I want to recognize the Mayor of the City of Chula Vista, Mary Casillas Salas. Also wanted to recognize the City Manager for the City of Chula Vista, Maria Cachadorian. And also wanted to recognize City of Chula Vista Council Member Jill Galvez. Before we get started in the press conference, I wanted to let you know that there will be two speakers. The first speaker will be the Chula Vista Police Department Police Chief Roxana Kennedy, and the second speaker will be the San Diego County District Attorney Summer Stevens. I also wanted to recognize several individuals that are to my left that helped make this investigation possible and lead to the ultimate arrest that took place earlier today. And that would be FBI from San Diego Special Agent in Charge Suzanne Turner, and also from the United States Marshal Service Supervisor Deputy Marshal Paul Bill. And then of course, I wanted to recognize May's family, which are all to my right here. And May's sister, Mary Chris, will be saying a few words today, and she'll be representing May's family. With that, I would like to introduce the Chula Vista Police Chief, Roxana Kennedy. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. As Lieutenant Peak mentioned, my name is Roxana Kennedy. I'm the Chief of Police for the Chula Vista Police Department. And I want to first thank everyone for attending today's press conference with such short notice. Along with our law enforcement leaders, I am joined today by Maya Millete's family, her friends, and our community members. Today at 11:42 a.m., the Chula Vista Police Department SWAT team served an arrest warrant and arrested Larry Malletti for the murder of his wife. Larry was taken into custody at his home and was alone at the time of his arrest. And I know many of you are all very concerned about May's children. I want you to know that they are safe. May was first reported missing to the Chula Vista Police Department shortly before midnight on January 9th, 2021. May was last seen 2 days earlier by family members at her residence located in East Chula Vista. Since being notified of May's disappearance, officers and investigators have remained committed and determining the circumstances, committed to determining the circumstances behind her disappearance. As the scope and complexity of the investigation grew, so did the size and the scope of the investigative effort. The Chula Vista Police Department began a formal partnership with a multi-agency working group, including the San Diego District Attorney's Office, the FBI, and NCIS. The primary goal was to bring May home to her family or bring justice to the person responsible for her disappearance. To date, the investigation has included over 67 search warrants, 87 interviews, review and investigation of over 130 tips, and thousands of hours of methodical investigative efforts. These efforts ultimately generated a variety of pieces of evidence that have become clear and overwhelming. Larry Malletti, May's husband, is responsible for May's murder and disappearance. Today is a step towards justice, but it does not mark the end of our investigation. The Chula Vista Police Department will continue to seek answers for her family. Today is about May, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about her. May was loved by her family and friends and was committed to her children. May's murder and disappearance has impacted so many over the past 9 months, including many people who had never even met May. Yet they rallied around her family and helped keep May's disappearance in the spotlight. While understandably the family and public want answers, our investigative team must follow the facts and the evidence that has led us to today. Our team did not stop. They relentlessly pursued justice. They wanted nothing more than to find out what happened to May, and as we now know, to hold her killer accountable. Homicide detectives say that they speak for victims who cannot speak for themselves. Their mission is one of compassion for victims and victim families. They are dedicated to being able to bring closure and accountability to those involved in these tragic events. This case will ultimately be placed in the hands of a jury, who will be given the chance to evaluate all the evidence and the facts. While we are here to report the arrest of Larry Malletti, nothing will change the fact that May's murder is a senseless tragedy. A mother is gone. A family is broken. And a community is left with questions and confusion. This affects us all, but it affects most of all those who loved and cared for May. Today you will notice that officers and family members are wearing purple ribbons. It is not lost on any of us that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Domestic violence is prevalent in every community and affects all people regardless of age, socioeconomic status, sexual orientation, gender, race, religion, or nationality. This is a time to acknowledge domestic violence survivors and be a voice for its victims. I would like to thank my entire team at the Chula Vista Police Department that you'll all see around you, along with our partners, the District Attorney's Office and DA Summer Steffen, FBI San Diego and Special Agent in Charge Suzanne Turner, U.S. Marshal San Diego Division and Supervisor Deputy Marshal Paul Beal. And unfortunately, they couldn't be here today, but San Diego NCIS and Special Agent in Charge Josh Flowers. I'd also like to give a special thank you to the Cold Case Foundation, who also helped through this process. Their support of all these partners and their commitment has been invaluable to this case. I would also like to thank the many volunteers and community members who are here today. Thank you. You've been there the whole time to support May's family, and we appreciate it. And to May's family, I want you to know that I pray every day that we find May and we get closer to your family. I'd now like to introduce our District Attorney, Summer Steffen.
Thank you, Chief Kennedy. I'm Summer Stephan, San Diego County's District Attorney. On Monday, October 18th, yesterday, my office filed a criminal case in San Diego County Superior Court charging Larry Millete with the murder of May. More specifically, count 1 alleges that Larry Millete unlawfully killed May on or about January 7th of 2021 in violation of Penal Code Section 187. There is also a second charge of illegal possession of an assault weapon. Following his arrest today, the defendant was booked into jail and is being held without bail. He is scheduled to be arraigned this Thursday at 1:30 in the afternoon at the South Bay Courthouse. Whenever one of our community goes missing, we hope for their safe return. I know that is what May's family wanted. Sometimes missing person cases remain unsolved, but as the evidence unfolded in this case, meticulously and carefully, block by block, it pointed in one direction, that May was murdered. As we make this announcement, I know the hearts of the community are broken, as are the hearts of May's family. I wish we had better news for them. The only thing that we can do in the face of this senseless violence is to bring justice, to work tirelessly to make sure that we cannot bring May back, but that we can bring justice. And that's what it's about. As we make this announcement, understand that there's going to be questions about the fact that May's body is still missing. California law, and similar to across the nation, is very clear that the murder charges, that we can file murder charges despite not having a body. In fact, the law is so crystal clear that we cannot let someone murder someone and gain a benefit by hiding the body in a way that we can discover it. In fact, there is case law that we will be using in this case that makes it even more clear that a missing body is circumstantial evidence that there was foul play and that it's a murder, because somebody who takes their own life cannot hide their own body. We filed this case based on the evidence that was developed during an extensive 9-month investigation. Chief Kennedy and her team left no stone unturned. I am so proud to work with Chula Vista Police Department and its brave members that put everything on the line to help bring May home, and in the absence of that, to find who killed her. When Chief Kennedy called on my office to assist, the answer was a resounding yes. I assembled an elite team that includes a homicide prosecutor, a district attorney investigator, a cold case homicide investigator, and a crime intelligence analyst, to name a few. We had one goal in mind. We worked hand in hand with Chula Vista Police Department to turn over every stone to solve this case. I have to pause and thank the DA team that are here with me today, the essential team that devoted themselves to this case and will continue this fight for justice going forward in the courtroom of law. Our homicide prosecutor, Christy Bowles, back here, our lead district attorney investigator, James Rhodes, and our cold case homicide investigator, Matt Grindley, along with our crime intelligence analyst, Peter Villafort, who you will learn was able to uncover some key evidence, with the support of Chief Deputy District Attorney Tracy Pryor and Commander Eric Nava. Thanks so much that San Diego shined, as it always does, with collaboration with the FBI, U.S. Marshal, NCIS joining us as they have whenever there was a call to duty. I'm going to provide a brief synopsis of the evidence. Understand that a lot of the evidence cannot be shared. It will be shared in the courtroom. However, there is an unsealed portion of the arrest warrants that includes evidence that would not compromise additional investigation. This case, the investigation in this case, while we know that Larry Millete is responsible for the murder, is ongoing, and bringing May home to have a proper burial for her family is ongoing. So what you will get is the things that will not compromise a jury trial. One of the main reasons I'm providing this is that now that Larry Millete has been arrested and is being held on no bail, it is our experience that there are people out there that often have information, but they feel uncomfortable, they feel worried, they feel scared, they have loyalties, and they don't come forward until an arrest is made. We've experienced that repeatedly. We are hopeful that now is the time that you come forward if you have any information. We also know more facts now that might help somebody who saw the vehicle that we believe was the transport vehicle that was used to dispose of May's body, to search their memories and understand from what I'm going to describe that there is no specific location and that the radius may be very vast and large. So it can be someone in the county, somebody outside our county. That's why we appreciate the media attention that hopefully will allow someone to see this and think, I did see a Lexus pulled off the road somewhere on January 8th of 2021, and to call us and provide that piece to the family of May. The investigators found, and when I say the investigators, I mean Chula Vista Police Department, working with the DA's office, working with our partners, that starting in 2020 and continuing until January 7 of 2021, May wanted a divorce for many reasons. Her husband, Larry, did not want the divorce. May was committed to her 3 young children. They were the center of her life. She wanted to continue being a parent, and she tried to negotiate that they can be parents to their children, but not subject the children to a toxic relationship. But Larry would not have it. In homicide cases, there is often a triggering event. In this case, on January 7 of 2021, May was no longer talking about divorce. She took that step, and the last call recorded that May made was to a divorce attorney. She did not make any further calls. When she called the divorce attorney on January 7th, we know that Larry was aware because he sent text messages that were screenshot to his boss that let him know that this was final, that it was coming. It also turns out, and this is from extensive search warrants, everything is done by the book, extensive search warrants that were done by Chula Vista Police Department with the help of our team that uncovered a trail of things that were happening that were of great concern. Larry was trying to hold on to May, and he resorted to contacting what are called spellcasters. I've never had a case where that was involved. These spellcasters would be asked to make May want to stay in the relationship. But as December of 2020 came, those messages to spellcasters were a lot more threatening. He was asking for May to become incapacitated, for May to be in an accident, to have broken bones so that she could stay at home, thus displaying his homicidal ideations to harm May. The January 7th date was very clear. She not only had called a divorce lawyer, but she had set an appointment for January 12th to meet with the divorce lawyer in order to carry out the divorce. She wanted that date and not Friday, January 7th, because their daughter had a birthday that she had planned, and again, the kids were the center of her world. And she did not want to do anything to disrupt that birthday that was going to take place on January 10. The last text message that May sent was on January 7th at 8:15 p.m. to her family. She sent that on Facebook Messenger. That's another set of warrants that were done. In the afternoon of January 7, Larry Malletti sent a really telling text. He said, "I think she wants me to snap, and I'm shaking inside, ready to snap." At 9:21 p.m. on January 7th, Larry screenshot from his account cryptocurrency amounts of money that were in his cryptocurrency to his two daughters, ages 11 and 9. May's phone activity stopped on January 8th at 1:25 a.m. On January 9th, Larry Malletti's spellcaster messages that had been sent on a daily basis turned from May to wanting to punish a man that he blames for the failed relationship. This was before Mary Chris had called the police about May being missing. Now we go to November 8th. Security video retained by Chula Vista PD showed the defendant on January 8th at 5:58 a.m. in the morning moving his Lexus GX 460, a black Lexus, with the license plate that bears the name Melani. The Lexus was already backed into the driveway, but Larry Millete repositioned that Lexus where the back of the Lexus is in the entrance of that garage. He repositioned it where no video camera can capture whether a body was put in the back of the Lexus or not. But based on that positioning, we're not able to see that vantage point. At 6:45 a.m., after repositioning the car at 5:58 a.m., Larry leaves and he does not return to the house for 11 hours and 21 minutes. He leaves his phone behind so that there is no ability to track the GPS or location on the phone. He takes his 4-year-old and leaves the 2 older children at home. When asked by investigators, he said that he went to Solano Beach for 11 hours and 20 minutes at the temperature that January 7th is. When shown a map, he pointed to the Torrey Pines Beach, which is 4 miles away from the Solano Beach. On that date, his employer was calling frantically, January 8th. He even called May, saying this is not like Larry not to show up to work, and wondering where Larry was. His father called, checking where he is, but no response. The phone was not operating. On January 26, detectives served a search warrant to seize the contents of the Lexus's infotainment system. This is an older 2015 Lexus, so it doesn't have the capacity that we have today. The report generated from the download indicates a navigation event on January 8th at 3:29 p.m. in the afternoon for Larry's home address, 2413 Paseo Los Gatos. So 2.5 hours before returning to the home, he is entering his home address to get to the home. And this is why I am giving this information so the public understands that we do not have a vicinity where the body may be. It may be out 2.5 hours or even further or closer. And that's why we need the public's help. Also, Larry's messages that were captured in the search warrant showed that he was informing his boss that she's serious and is going to get the divorce. Larry's father even texted him saying, Larry, please turn on your phone. This is January 8th because your boss is calling regarding your job. When a search warrant was served at the residence, they were looking for firearms registered to Larry. Despite a court order, he had not turned over one of those weapons, a .40 caliber gun, and it remains outstanding to today. So again, I tell the public, if you are holding on to that weapon, this is the time to turn it over to police. Detectives also obtained security footage from the neighboring residence and observed the following. On January 7th at approximately 9:57 p.m., the sound of 9 loud bangs were recorded. Unfortunately, despite the excellent work of the FBI, they were not able to confirm whether those were gunshots based on the quality of the recording. But we truly appreciate their efforts and their continued efforts. But at 10:34 p.m., neighbors heard the children, the Malletti children, playing in the backyard at 10:34 p.m. on January 7th. This was unusual because of the time of night. On the evening of January 8th, May's brother went to the house around 6:30 p.m. By now, Larry had returned. When he arrived to the residence, he was worried about May because they had not heard from her, and May was always in contact on her phone. He went up to her room and knocked on the door, and there was no response. And then he went out to the street and looked in her room and did not see any lights. Larry first told the brother that he was at work and doesn't know what May is doing. This is January 8th. And then he said that he changed the story and said he went to the beach with the 4-year-old. It's important to note that it was not Larry that called the police to say that May was missing. It was Mary Priest who went to the house, knowing her sister is always in touch and that her sister was looking forward to the birthday in Big Bear, who called the police. part of a nobody investigation is to look for proof of life. And in this case, for 9 months, there is no proof of life that May is alive. Case law is clear that in today's world of finances and everything being tracked, that shows no proof of life. May excelled at her job. She was committed to her career. She loved her children. She was looking forward to a birthday that was coming up that she had planned. And after January 7th at 8:15 p.m. in the evening, that was her last communication to anyone via text, social media, or phone call. The team also looked at all of the finances, and while she had a savings account and she was making a decent living, there was no withdrawal from any account, not before, not during. All her valuables were left in the house. All 4 cars are accounted for. But a key piece of evidence was where was May's phone? Because being able to track that phone gives you a really important piece of the story. And after an extensive recreation and experiment that was done in September of 2021, it was clear that May's phone was in that San Miguel Ranch neighborhood, at her home or thereabouts. That means that May did not leave, did not go anywhere. She always had her phone. I talked about the financial evidence, which is very, very important. This arrest would not have been possible without the tremendous efforts of Chula Vista Police Department Chief Roxana Kennedy and her team. And I also again want to thank my team for working hand in hand with the Chula Vista Police Department. We ask the public at this point to call with any tips with regard to a Lexus GX460 black license plate Milani. If you saw that vehicle anytime on January 8th, please call and report that information. If you have any information about the missing .40 caliber gun, please call and report that information. If you have any evidence at all that you're aware of, please call and provide that information. While this arrest and the filing of charges starts us down the path of justice, this is not a win. We've lost a life, and all we can do is pursue justice fairly in order to bring justice to this.
All right, hold on there. I thought there was an issue with that. I think there's, okay, we're back on here.
Thank you to Chief Kennedy and San Diego County District Attorney Summer Stephan. At this point, I'm going to ask
Mary
Chris
Chris
who's
is
the
going to say
spokesperson
something.
for May and May's family to come up, and she's going to provide a few words. Thank you, Mary Chris.
We love you, Mary Chris. Here for you, baby.
I would want to say thank you, everyone, for being here today, for all your support. Of course, I want to thank Chula Vista Police Department for relentlessly working on my sister's case to this point. Chief Roxana Kennedy, thank you so much. You tell us you're praying for my sister. That means a lot to us. the DA's office. Thank you so much, Summers. Stephen, thank you so much, and all your team. Thank you. They told us they've been working hard, day and night, working on my sister's case, even though we don't see it, but they're working hard to hopefully to get to this point. It's been 9 months. And also with the community support, we were able to do it. Sorry, it is just overwhelming at this time for me. I'm still trying to take it today. It's been really hard. He's a family. He's our family. It's hard to go against a family. He's been with us for 20 years. My sister did love him. She gave him 3 kids. She just can't let go. And this is still not the end. We have a long way to go. We're still asking the public, please help us bring my sister home. I still want to see my sister. I still want her to come home to us. Please, if you know anything at all, please help us. We are pleading. I still want her to come home. We did a promise to her 11-year-old daughter that we will bring her mom home, please. Let the kids know where their mommy is at. Let them know the truth, that they'll still be brought up
And that she didn't abandon them.
healthy. And
She didn't just get up and leave. I also want to thank the media for never giving up on the family.
yeah.
On Maya's case. You guys put her face on all the televisions, newscasts, social media. You guys never gave up on this. And you guys didn't let this case become a court case. Just like the police department. Thank you, everybody. Men and women in blue. We love you guys.
Thank you.
And the community that supported us every weekend, every week. Prayers.
Prayers.
Every Thursday we do prayers. Thank you to all the community that came out. Every search,
Even the weekdays.
rain, shine, desert, ticks and all. We were
Snakes.
out there searching for our sister, so
We're not going anywhere.
thank you guys.
Thank you. And again, thank you so much, everyone. It's all a teamwork from everybody. Thank you. We are bringing justice to our sister and we'll bring her home. Thank you.
So thank you to Mary Chris and Richard. Like it's been mentioned several times, this is an active and ongoing investigation. We still do not have May's body. And somebody out there may have saw something, or they may know exactly where she is. That person can remain anonymous. They can report it to Crime Stoppers, or they can call the Chula Vista Police Department or the District Attorney's Office. Please provide that information. All it could take is one tip, one lead to lead us to where May's body is. With that, I will open it up to a few questions. If they are specific to the District Attorney's Office, let me know. If they're specific to the Chula Vista Police Department, I'll be happy to try to answer them.
I realize that you're not going to talk exact about the evidence, but can you tell us the guns that were confiscated and the other things taken from the house, if any of that constitutes physical evidence that points you to Larry Millete? Or is this just largely a circumstantial case?
Yeah, I can't talk about the evidence, but it is a case that's built on a piece by piece circumstantial evidence at this point.
Does that concern you in the process of prosecution?
No, we've prosecuted several missing body cases. Fortunately, in one of them recently, the body was discovered right before the trial. We're hoping that that happens really to bring finality to the family. But we feel very confident about the prosecution and the evidence that we have.
District Attorney, are you able to seek the death penalty without a body? And I have a follow-up.
Seeking the death penalty is not related to whether you have a body or not. It's related to whether we have a special circumstance. Right now, the charges are murder, and there is not an alleged special circumstance. The special circumstance is something like the murder was committed in the course of a robbery or kidnap or rape. Those are things that constitute a special circumstance. Maybe some evidence will develop of a special circumstance, but at this point we have a murder.
And would it be a mitigating factor if Larry Millete's neighbors, if he were to reveal where Maya's body is?
We always want to know where the body is, and we hope that anybody with good conscience will allow May's family and her children to have a burial place to visit their mother.
I have a question for the police department. Is he talking? Is he talking?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so unfortunately, this is an active and ongoing investigation. There is a lot of questions that we can answer. We obviously want to protect the case, like the Chief Kennedy and District Attorney Summer Steffen had said. This is going to go in front of a jury. At that point, the case will be laid out to a jury. So until that happens, there's a lot of questions that you have that we are not able to provide you answers with today, just due to the fact that this is ultimately going in front of a jury and will be tried there.
Does the department have any indication?
Is there any questions specific to the Chula Vista Police Department before we wrap it up?
Yes. Do you believe he had help?
I'll be right with you, ma'am.
Do you believe he had help?
Will the children be released to Maya's families? Are they going to be okay?
So I can report is that the children are safe, and I can tell you that this afternoon when Larry was taken into custody for the murder of May, the children were the #1 thoughts in our mind to do that safely, to make sure they were never in danger. And once we knew that the children were not in any danger, that's when the SWAT team moved and took them into custody. I believe there's one question right here.
Yeah, should we still be searching the cell phone pin triangulation area?
So early on in the investigation, it was released to the media, also to May's family, that we had reason to believe that May's phone may have been in the area of the old golf course near her house. When that information was released, we were going on the best info at that time. At this point, we've been able to analyze that data more closely, and we feel that May's phone never left the residence. I have one more question.
You have searched locations for Larry's family members. You have searched in locations where Larry's family members live. Do you have reason to believe that his family members helped him in any way?
At this point in the investigation, the only person that we feel is responsible for May's disappearance and murder is Larry Millete. That'll be all. Thank you.
Okay, so that is the press conference. Put that up here, and let me go and see. Now, I don't know why it's so light in here. I don't know what's going on with that. Let me see if I can fix that. It's a little better, a little better. Still looking wacky. I don't know what the deal is on that. Okay, so now before Mike has a coronary, let me check. Mike, I could not change accounts when the press conference is running. I'm not sure if you understand what I'm talking about. It's a totally different account I have to log into, which would have knocked us off the press conference. Okay, let's see. I'm going to check what the message is. 1 second. Now I have to log in. Get your message. Okay. Okay, let's see what's going on now. Okay, so it's okay. I'm not worried about the what you were talking about with the super chat. That's fine. I don't know how to help you with the bank. The only thing I can think of is if that doesn't go through and you want to do something, you could send it to PayPal. Maybe that would work better. I'm not, let's see. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that, Mike. I don't know. You'll have to tell me what. Too many is cute. Hold on. Let me see what's going on here. I don't. Mike, I don't know what's going on here, but I'll look at that later. This is a lot of stuff, and we got to cover the press conference. I didn't see your messages until now. I'm not sure. Yeah, I can talk to you later if you want. Okay? Let me go on now. So, the press conference. Let's go back to that. They can't answer a lot of questions. They don't have Maya's body. They're saying that the Lexus, he left his phone home, so they don't have any GPS from his phone. No pings or anything. He took his 4-year-old with him. Okay, went to supposedly the beach, but the weather wasn't beach weather. Was gone for over 11 hours. And then when about 2 hours or a little over 2 hours before he arrived home, he put in the GPS the location of the house. And so they're saying now, given that, and it was 2 hours from where Maya lived, could that be where he was with the body? But that could be over 2 hours anywhere. So that's why they're saying, please think if you're anywhere within 2.5 to 3 hours, Solano Beach is a city, yeah. But he also said he was at the beach. He named a beach that was 4 miles from Solano Beach. And that's not even where they're talking about. They're talking about this 2+ hour location wherever he set the GPS to go back home. I just don't understand why it wouldn't show that exact location where he was. But what they're saying is that anybody in that radius, please think about it, because her body could be there. Definitely think about that. Let me see here now. And then poor Mary Chris, really, really, really sad. Did the car have tracking? No, it was a 2015 Lexus. They said it didn't have the GPS like they have today. So he left his phone home. Maya's phone never left the residence is what they're figuring. They thought at one time it was at a golf course. It's not. There's no proof of life for Mary Chris, so in over 9 months. So that's why they're saying they believe she's deceased, and that's why he was arrested for her murder. And the way he backed the Lexus into the bay of the garage, it was out of the view of the camera, so they didn't see anything being carried out to the car. But given all of those pieces, they are believing that he was transporting her body out that day. But there's also this thing with the freezer. Remember, the freezer was gone from the house, and he said his cousin had the freezer. I don't know if they ever checked the serial numbers, and that was something even the private investigator / attorney that the family hired had touched on. So now, starting from the very interesting. So to see what's going on, it's a tough case. Yeah, it is. And again, it was Mary Chris that reported Maya missing. That was on the 10th. Last anybody heard from her was on the 7th. Her last call was to the divorce attorney. She had an appointment with the divorce attorney. Oh, what happened? My thing just, hope I didn't just lose the internet. Jimmy, did you just knock the internet off? Jimmy? Jimmy, did you just knock the internet off? Did you just knock the internet out? Okay, everything just went black for me. Can you see if I'm still on YouTube? Because I can't see anything. Everything went black. I don't even know if I'm broadcasting any longer. It looks like I'm on or not on? I'm here? Okay, they said I'm here. They can see and hear me. Okay, I can't see and hear anything. So, all right. I can now, the chat is finally come up, but I have nothing but a black screen. It looks like it's a complete black screen on YouTube. But if you can see me, hey, that's good. Okay, good. Yes, okay. All right, so where were we? So she had the appointment for the divorce attorney on the 12th, and they had their daughter's birthday. They were going to go to Big Bear. She wanted to do that, not spoil her daughter's birthday, and yet it's looking like Larry murdered her on the 7th. Remember that call with the gunshots? Let me see if I can find that very quickly. Let me just see. Hold on 1 second. What sounded like gunshots? She said, but see, the thing is, there were so many shots fired, and that's the other thing, and we've talked about this before in looking at this. If he fired off as many rounds like that, and the kids are playing in the backyard, there wasn't evidence in there of like the tile floors being chipped and blood all over the place and all of that. And that's why that freezer was coming into play about, did somehow that play into any of this, but let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can get that 911 call. Let me see here. Okay, let's see here.
Wait, before you scroll away, you need to hear this.
Hang on one second. Let me just see if this is okay. So this is 6 loud bangs. But they said 9, so it's 6. Let me get this to play. Hang on. See if this
First, a cluster.
I'm trying to get just the sounds. I don't want. Okay. This is not the one I want. Okay, hang on. I want to get the audio of this. Okay, 8 loud bangs. Let me get this here. I'm going to mute so you can hear this. You'll also hear the kids playing. This wasn't 911, this is surveillance camera. That's 8. That's 8. You hear the dog barking and this is the original audio from a surveillance camera mounted on a house. That's 9. That's 9. On a house in Maya Millete's neighborhood. The camera scene is in the video is not the camera that recorded the audio. The audio was a direct digital transfer of the camera original audio. As a result, this is a clean copy of the audio. And this was disseminated by CBS 8 in San Diego. So, yeah, you hear that. I mean, how could you... We have tried to see, like, why would there be so many gunshots? You know, what's going on there, and still can't piece that stuff together, you know. But that's it, in case you've never heard that. Go back to the stuff here. Police said 9. That was 9. 9. Gunshots are not that easy to identify, says Savarino. I live in a neighborhood where all manner of fireworks go off at all nights, but hearing those 8 reports, 9. I say definitely gunshots. And the dog is alarmed. Yeah, and in some, there's also something where you can hear the kids in the background. And the kids were playing in the yard at like 10:30 at night, okay? You live on the edge of the woods and hear gunshots all the time. It sounded like a gun to me, just my opinion. Yes, Shelley, it does. Could he have shot her? See, that's what I'm wondering. That freezer is something is playing with that freezer. Why is that freezer gone from the garage? And he says his cousin has it, but did they ever check the serial numbers? It's possible the cousin had a freezer just like it. Maybe they've even bought him at the same time and he knew that. So that's all very, very strange stuff. Okay. Where are we here? I'm trying to get back here to where you guys are. I do not know. Oh, you don't know what Irene, you don't. Hold on, my chat is still trying to catch up because I was. Was there bullet holes? No, that's what I'm saying. I wondered. No, there weren't. There was a wall that was patched up, yes, but that was on the side of the door. Okay, that was on the side of the door as if someone punched a hole in to open a door. But, you know, you would see like there was a lot of tile in the house and everything. And you would imagine there would be chipping all over the place. And just things didn't, he had a lot of guns. So yeah, I don't know what he was doing for that, Would cause tons of blood. Yes, 8 or 9 shots. Exactly. It's a crying shame. And it's what we have said before. Let me see if the arrest warrant has been posted or anything like that yet. Let's see that. I'm just trying to see if that's been. Let me go through some of this here. Okay, so Maya was 39 years old. January 7th, again, is the last time that she was seen at around 5 p.m. Her husband was the last to see her, saying they got into an argument, and he said she left, seemingly to cool off. He said that happened a lot, but Mary Chris says otherwise, okay? January 10th is when a missing persons report is filled out at 1 a.m. after 3 days where no one had any signs of Maya. This happens after she misses her daughter's birthday party, something that's unlike her and concerning to her family. Her car was still in the driveway. Her credit cards had not been used. Her phone went straight to voicemail. The entire family, including Larry, was cooperating at that time. Larry mentions that she enjoys hiking and exploring trails behind their house. In the meantime, Maya's family organizes vigils and search parties, none of which Larry attends. None. Instead, he stays home with the 3 children. On one occasion, the children go to a vigil and he picks them up afterwards, but he doesn't attend. January 23rd, a search warrant is served on the Malletti home. The details were not released at that time. February 4th, Larry stops cooperating with the police, hires a lawyer. And Maya's sister, Mary Chris, said that Larry was distancing himself from the family. February 5th, a press conference was held for the family and police for anyone with information to come forward. It is said that Larry had no positive communication with the police. On February 11th, a search party organized around the Glamis sand dunes where Maya's brother-in-law Richard said they might have gotten a little hint that she might be out there on the day that she went missing. February 26th, Maya's family hires their own private investigator for their case. And that's this guy. Let me see if we can find his... This here. So this is, let's see here. He's one of the most recognized names in private investigating, and he's working for free to help find Chula Vista mom Maya Millete. Bill Garcia says, I started getting involved when people started asking me why I wasn't involved. And he's a California licensed private investigator who currently lives in Tahoe. Garcia drove into town around noon on that Friday, and his car was packed for 5 days worth of work. Families who have a loved one disappear are devastated, he said. They get destroyed over time, and I didn't want this to happen. Maya disappeared on January 7th. Her husband at the time said that he thought she might have gone on a hike to blow off some steam, but she never came home. Her car was still in the driveway, her phone turned off, and her credit cards unused. When she didn't show up for her daughter's birthday party a few days later, her family called the police. Now let's see, search warrants were issued, but I want to get to what he says here because Bill Garcia said he heard that police confiscated one of the family's SUVs as evidence. He now plans to search highway cameras from the day that Maya went missing. Those cameras can record up to 300 license plates per minute, so you're not going to miss anything. He'll be working the next 5 days for free. He says there's an advantage to that. We don't have anyone that we have to report back to other than law enforcement because the family might have a particular mindset in how they want to proceed, and that's not always the best route. So a billboard with Maya's picture went up, and there's an interview that he did too, but he's the one that mentioned this freezer, okay? All right, let's see. Then, so February 11th, March 17th, a phone call between Larry and Court TV when he claimed that, and now he started to, again, this is what we've seen with those friends of the laundries and others, that they always put the blame on the victim. Okay, so Larry started really casting shade on Maya March 17th with Court TV. He claimed that Maya would go out often, going home to other friends' houses, be drunk, and sleep there overnight. March 30th, it's revealed that Maya had an appointment scheduled with a divorce lawyer on the day she went missing. Well, actually, it was a phone call that she made to make that appointment. That appointment was on the 12th of January. April 5th, let's see. An anonymous source said that Larry believed Maya was cheating on him and hired a hitman for $20,000 to kill her. We've seen this in text and stuff as we've covered this case, and if you haven't seen those videos, go back to the playlist and watch them. 4 agencies, including the FBI, joined the Chula Vista Police in their search on April 21st. On May 7th, a second search warrant was served at the Millete house. On May 10th, it is found that there was a restraining order against Larry Millete for gun violence because their 4-year-old son had easy access to guns, and he was seen in a photograph and video with all these guns laid out on the table and hundreds of rounds of ammunition. On May 11th, Larry responds to the gun restraining order in a phone interview. Let me see if we can get that. Let me see here. Hold on one sec. Trying to see if I think. We've gone through the paperwork here, but I'm just trying to see if there's any.
Have been violated numerous times, especially.
Hi, Vanessa. All of my firearms were purchased legally. This is Larry. I'm a law-abiding citizen and veteran. My rights have been violated numerous times, especially my Second and Fourth Amendment, is what Larry has said there. And also, I would like to add that I have showed no aggression or posed no risk that would prohibit me from owning or possessing firearms. It's our constitutional right as Americans, is what Larry said about that, and he was not happy about that. Okay. Let's go back. May 12th, details are revealed from the search of the Malletti house, not by officials, but observers and news crews around the house, that they saw a 3D room scanner being used by detectives, a device that's helpful for mapping crime scenes digitally. This is when we thought that he was going to be arrested, and it wasn't. There was also a mention of black lights being used to look for blood. On May 26, police say they searched a golf course and surrounding area. They were trying to find her phone, but now it looks like it never left her house. Mary Chris on June 11 said that they're now searching an area based off of one of Maya's last cell phone pings. On June 16th, Larry states that the police pulled him over and detained him for 6 hours illegally. During the second search in his and Maya's home, he claims he was threatened to be arrested if he attempted to leave. The statement was released within Larry's petition to repeal the gun violence restraining order from May 10th. The full document can be viewed. Let's see what we've got here. And we've gone over this in prior videos, but your name, Larry, okay, so this is his information. I do not agree to the order requested because he doesn't have anything written there. I did not do anything described. These are handgun, rifle, or shotgun. Okay, here it is. Here's over here. It says, I, Larry Millete, declare as follows. I am the respondent in the above referenced matter. I have personal knowledge of facts sent forth in this declaration, and if called as a witness, could and would testify competently to such facts under oath. It is my desire to have peace, safety, stability, health, prosperity, love, and countless blessings for myself, my wife, for my children, my friends, my family, friends, neighbors, co-workers, my community, and people around me. It is also the desire of my heart to protect and defend my children, my wife, my parents, myself, my home, from this dangerous, toxic environment and people. Unfortunately, I've been prevented from enjoying these blessings as a result of my wife's leaving our home and have not returned. To complicate matters, my wife's family and their attorney have been appearing on television, uttering statements implying and highly suggesting to the public and the media that I am to blamed for her 6-month-long disappearance. I am not responsible for her disappearance, and I have fully cooperated with the police investigation. The Chula Vista Police Department spokeswoman said there was no indication of foul play. I am not a suspect, according to the police authorities, but nevertheless, the Chula Vista Police have searched my home twice. First in January 23rd, 2021, and then the second time May 7th, 2021, and removed many things, including my car and all my guns that they took from the large safe, deposit metal container, and many other things. I am not in possession of any guns at the present time, but I am afraid for my safety and the safety of my family and my home, because I have been receiving threatening, angry, insulting, accusatory, malicious, and hateful messages from people. The only words to come out of their mouth were negative and derogatory statements towards me. These people are even implicating my parents, who are retired and has done everything they can do to protect and to serve our family. Their language revealed the venom that emanated from their hearts. My neighbor even mentioned about mysterious bang sounds recorded behind our residence on the night my wife was last seen. An attorney working for my wife's family even came to my house in order to gain entry and access to our house. The attorney presented that he was from the Naval Criminal Investigative Service. He appeared several times on television and made statements suggesting that I am responsible for my wife's absence. Now he's talking about Bill Garcia. My wife's sister and family have also made negative statements against me. They created an environment of hate and anger against me and motivated people to leave threatening and malicious messages on our doorsteps, front door, text messages, and through the mail. I have recorded statements from a man who states that he will get me and that I could not hide, that he is not playing with me. And he states that he knows more about where I live, my social security number, my bank account. Furthermore, he states that he is watching me. And even if the court will get me off, that he will get me after court. My wife approved of my gun collections, and we have thoroughly protected and defended our family from harm. Now my family and I live in painful, hostile, and harassing environment. I am saddened and afraid with all these events, but when will this stop? How do I protect myself? How do I protect my family? Do I have the right to defend myself and the lives of my loved ones? Every day now I feel unsafe. I have served in the U.S. Navy for some years and remember the strict gun safety drills I learned. I value the right to own a gun and believe it should come with safety measures like background checks and secure storage. I have done both requirements and I make sure my children and others are safe. In fact, I have carried a gun safety card. The testimonies and narration of the police does not provide the truth and does not help in locating my wife and does not resolve life's problems. I want the court to know that I have not met nor have any past or present communications with SDPD Detective Harlow, whose declaration has been filed with the court. I was not given or served with the attachments 1 and 2 as stated in his declaration under penalty of perjury, and thus cannot respond to his allegations, and I asked to be given more time to respond than when these documents are served to me. May this serve as my response to the City of San Diego Police. I have not resided nor worked in the City of San Diego. My children, my parents, my wife, and I are residents of Chula Vista for over 10 years. I worked and currently work for the United States of America inside the U.S. Naval Hospital compound at Balboa Medical Center. I am not a violent or dangerous person. I have not hurt nor harmed anyone. I am a law-abiding citizen who gets up in the morning and cooks breakfast for my 3 children, ages 4, 9, and 11. I take 2 of them to school and pick them up in the afternoon after school. I cook and feed them and clean up the house after work and take care of my children. I also take care of my parents, and they are sick. My father was sick and hospitalized in January of 2021. Just about the same time my wife left our home. My wife's whereabouts remain a mystery. Yes, I collect guns as a hobby and interest with my Uncle Ricky Lincoln, Uncle Rick, who also collects these guns. My guns are registered and I have gone through the required background checks. I have 17 guns that have been all taken by the Chula Vista Police. I have no other guns inside my house, and we are not allowed to bring guns at work. My Uncle Rick had my 5 AR-15s that are incomplete and disassembled guns that nobody can use. Uncle Ricky had my stripped down lowers, and I have the uppers. But these were also taken by the Chula Vista Police during a search of his home on or about April 1st, 2021. According to Uncle Rick, the Chula Vista police officers did not provide him with a list of things that they removed from his home during the search. He believes the police took all the guns, including 5 of his father's guns that were given to him after his father passed away in 2002, and other items. There is no significant danger to me having access to firearms. It is merely the opinion of Detective Harlow, who I have never met. My firearms are not assault weapons, and were not considered assault weapons when I legally purchased them through an authorized FFL. All my gun purchases have gone through the California 10-day waiting period. Hang on, my thing just turned black again. There we go. 10-day waiting period. Dealer record of sale process. All of my firearms are serialized. I store my long rifles disassembled, keeping 1 or 2 fully built for family and home defense purposes. I did not allow a third party to possess my firearms without a legal transfer. My Uncle Rick had 5 incomplete AR rifles that only consisted of the stripped lower trigger assembly and buffer tube. These are not able to be fired or have been fired since being put together. The following unregistered assault weapons do not belong to me. And he lists an Aero Precision Model SPR2 7.62 caliber semi-automatic rifle and a High Point Firearms Model 4595 45 caliber semi-automatic rifle. Only the JD Machine Model TR that was illegally seized by Chula Vista Police is mine. During the first search of my home, I was never shown or given a copy of the so-called search warrant, and still have not been given a copy of the list of items and personal properties taken that day. At that time, I was instructed by the police officers to open my locked, large gun safe deposit container where my firearms were located during the beginning of this search without a camera, and they finally searched the safety deposit container after several hours having passed, making it look like the safety deposit container was already open during the search. The long rifle in question was purchased legally and in configuration was legal when I bought it years ago. After many years of compounded California bans on certain features, my long rifle may be construed as non-compliant to a California penal code. Again, I have never taken my long rifles out of my home to shoot, and these have never been fired. Also, I kept most of these disassembled in the locked-up safety container. The Aero Precision and High Point rifles that were seized at my Uncle Rick's house are not part of my collection, but the police indicated in their request for orders that this belonged to me. 4 firearms were taken during the first illegal search of my home, to include 1 serialized and registered Armalite rifle, 2 registered Gen 4 Glock 26 pistols, and 1 registered Mossberg shotgun. 5 incomplete serialized and registered Armalite rifles lowers were taken from my Uncle Rick's home. These were purchased legally. 6 more registered and serialized firearms were taken from my home during a second search, to include 4 Glock pistols, 1 long Savage Arms hunting rifle with scope, and 1 serialized and registered Armalite rifle. I stored the last 2 Mossberg shotguns with an authorized FFL dealer. I could have stored all of my ammunition, magazines, parts, and firearms if given the chance. I can't even see what that says. I used something on the day of expiration, and I was not given the opportunity to store these, thus being taken away by law enforcement. I was also detained illegally during the second search of my home. Chula Vista Police pulled me over on the 5 freeway in San Diego jurisdiction. I understand that only SDPD, Sheriff, or Highway Patrol are able to pull me over on the freeway in San Diego. The Chula Vista Police held me for 6 hours while my home was being searched, and they threatened me with being arrested or detained even longer if I insist on going home to my children, my parents, and my house. I was allowed by the Chula Vista Police to go home close to midnight. The Chula Vista Police searched my house on May 7th, 2021, 4 months after Maya's disappearance, and while I was away from home. On the same day, the Chula Vista Police stopped me on the freeway and told me to exit at the National Avenue from the Interstate 5 freeway after I left work from the U.S. Naval Balboa Hospital. They refused to allow me to go home to be with my children and parents during the search and told me that they will arrest me if I go home that very moment. They also refused to allow me to speak to my lawyer, so I was detained for 6 hours and was not allowed to go home until midnight. The peace officers searched my house, broke and destroyed bedroom door and walls, and left our house in an obscure and disturbing state that horrified my children, parents, and me. The serialized JD machine TR2 was purchased legally. Hold on a minute. Okay, so I never left my home. Okay, so it goes through this. My wife left the family and has not returned. However, she would not have allowed me to have this collection if she believed our children or the general public would be in danger. I will not have this gun collection if my children or the community will be in danger. My children are not allowed to open the locked safe deposit metal container. They understand that they are not to handle the guns. I believe I have done everything in my power to keep my family safe. On rare occasion, I clean the safe deposit metal container and put the unloaded guns for a short time on the table, and the guns are returned inside the safe container. None of the firearms are loaded when these are on the table. Generally, I usually keep my firearms disassembled, leaving one or two assembled for family and home protection. Our children are completely supervised when this occurs by me, by my wife, and my parents, and they have been guarded and given some education about gun safety, and they are not allowed to handle any of the guns. Our children understand that they are not allowed to touch the guns. My parents live with us through the 10 years and help take care of the children. They are also present in the house to supervise the children. Our children have never been harmed. There has never been any violence. It is continuing prayer that my wife will come home. It is our continuing prayer that my wife will come home. In fact, the Christmas tree that she decorated last Christmas is still standing in our living room. I purchased these guns long ago as collections, approximately over 15 years ago, and if need be, to protect my family and our home, and believe that it's legal for me to have these. I do not want to disobey any laws. To my knowledge, I've registered all of the serialized guns and have complied with the requirements as a gun owner, and if need be, or if there are new requirements, I will follow all of the new requirements that I am required to comply to. I did not give complete firearms to friends, but only parts to family for cleaning purposes only. None of my ARs have ever been fired. I legally purchased 2 more pistols to add to my collection through the California process of DROS and through the FFL, together with a background check and the first search warrant. Detective Harlow keeps referring to firearms as illegal, which these are not or were not at the time of purchase and configuration. Perhaps over time, as California started banning certain features of an Armalite rifle, the configuration of 2Cs can be misconstrued as non-compliant due to California codes. Recently, a California judge overturned the ban, making the 2 long guns that were seized by the Chula Vista Police at my home no longer are considered illegal assault rifles. The features that are in question are only cosmetic and do not enhance the ability of the firearms. All of my long guns are 1 shot per trigger pull and are center fire rifles. These are not machine guns. I have no unregistered firearms. All are serialized and all have gone through DROS and FFL, and my background check has always passed. To my knowledge, possession of high-capacity magazines is not illegal. I did not allow a third party to possess firearms without a legal transfer. I no longer have any firearms in my possession. All are in custody of law enforcement or stored with a licensed gun dealership. Preventing me from purchasing firearms would violate the Second Amendment, not only to be able to protect my family and myself and our home, but violate one of our unalienable rights as Americans, depriving me with my pursuit of happiness. I am an avid gun collector, and firearms seized at my home twice are considered family heirlooms and have sentimental value. My children do not have access to my firearms. They are trained in regards to gun safety, and they have not attempted to handle firearms at our home or open the safe deposit metal container to handle guns. On or about February 3rd, 2021, a referral was received by the Child Welfare Services of San Diego County alleging abuse and neglect of our children by unknown. A protective service personnel have been to our home to check on the welfare of our children. They have investigated thoroughly and arrived at the conclusion that my children are safe, healthy, and well cared for. Okay, let's see here. Exhibits. So these are the exhibits. This is the gun safe. Where is Maya? Is this your friend or someone who helped you? What's wrong with you? You don't appear okay. Where's your wife? Not looking too good for you. So these are these messages that he's replying to. That why'd you kill her, Larry? That the reason he needs the guns. It's time to heal, brother. We need to move forward. We need to bring Maya home. You have dragged too many of your family along already. As mentioned before, karma always gets you no matter what, in this life or afterlife. Do not take away the kids' access to their cousins, who they usually play with, and then I guess you have the cousins' names. Before now, do not even hear them talk anymore. I am giving you a chance. Remember what I said on January 24th this year. Read back the text. Harasser. Hey, Larry, it's time for us to bring Maya home. Do you have anything to do with this? We need to bring her home and lay her to rest peacefully. Where did you go Friday, and why did you leave your phone home turned off? What did you done during that period of time? You did not just go to the beach. Come back. Hey, Larry, I hope you're doing okay. Can you call me, please? My heart is breaking for your family. Please, Larry, if you really want to help find your wife, reach out to me. This has to come to an end. It's not for your wife. It's not for your wife. Do it for your kids. Let's bring her home, Larry. Her parents deserve a proper burial. Things happen. It says, and then there's a photo. It's pixelated. And it says, my neighbors also send me these. This car parked in front, across the street, in front of your house, writing stuff, looking closely to your house, and then left after a few minutes. Then it says, Larry, you coward, tell us where she is. We all know you did it. No Valentine's Day for you. And then this was a letter written to Larry on February 24th of 2021. It says, Larry, you have dishonored your family. If anyone respected you, that is no longer the case. It probably does not even matter to you. The person you are now is the person you have always been. You never cared nor loved May. You have not been on any searches, not returning phone calls or texts, not allowing the kids to be with loved ones. I pray you are not contaminating them like you have contaminated yourself. How dare you, and what a coward you are to have your 4-year-old son, if he could only explain about January 8th, unknowingly be an accomplice to your selfish crime. According to your fabricated story, you said he left for Solana Beach. Likely not. Just another lie. At 6:30 a.m. and returned at 5 p.m. Where did you really go? Where did you take and leave May? Your phone was only off, so your steps were not traced. You would be surprised what law enforcement can do with technology and surveillances throughout the neighborhood, city, and state. You truly are a coward and not worthy to have the title of husband or dad. Who leaves their phone these days? That means you were irresponsible, leaving your 2 girls with no way to contact you. Not to mention, you would be blowing up May's cell phone. Really? What do you think? Who do you think you're fooling? You are only lying to yourself. Everyone else sees through all the holes. Maybe this is why you don't participate in the searches. You would be asked numerous questions and unable to keep your lies consistent. Your words are empty and they have no value. What does your mother and father think of you? They cannot possibly believe your lies. I hope they have enough honor and have you tell the truth. Maybe they are part of the crime you have committed. It would have been better to be divorced. Co-parenting would have been a better option. Did you accidentally harm May or did you purposely plan it? Why not send an anonymous note to law enforcement and inform them where May is? Though you are guilty, I am sure this so-called justice system will allow you a plea bargain. The only best thing about you obtaining a lawyer is to plea bargain. May had no bargain and saved taxpayers money and time. You are heartless and selfish, having your 11-year-old daughter believe her mom would miss her birthday. I am sure deep in her heart she knows you're lying. If you truly love them, allow them to enjoy their childhood. Don't rob and deprive them of it. Only God and you know the lies you are telling them. Your reputation as a dad is ruined by you. Only God can truly forgive you. Whose child are you anyway, God or Satan's? My prayer for you is that nothing you touch prospers or grows. May you have no rest, no honor, no hope, nor any joy. May all your days and nights be filled with misery. Until you let it be known where May is, no prayer or goodness will be said for you. You are a very weak person. You will remain trapped, have no honor, and have no respect. Well, Larry, it will be 2 months without May at this point. And then it says a caring citizen. This is, I guess, another one. Well, Larry, it will be 2 months without May. At this point in time, it does not matter what you did. What matters is that you tell where she is. Why are you putting the kids through this agony? Why are you putting those who truly love May through this agony? You cannot, or can you, be this heartless, this inhumane, less than a human being. As a husband, you were to protect your wife and family. You protected neither. You can't protect anyone. How do you look at the kids and not have compassion, not care about them? The heart is broken. They hurt. Their heart is broken. They hurt. You took their mom away from them. May loved them dearly, but you did not, nor ever did. You're not allowing them to contact nor visit their aunts, uncles, cousins, grandma, grandpa. What are you so afraid of? You are truly hurting them, not protecting them. Why have you chosen to treat May, the mother of your kids, like trash, as though no one loved or cared for her? She deserves better. People that know her and don't know her prove they love and care about her by continuing to search for her. You won't even search for her, nor allow her daughters to participate in the searches. What does this say about you? Suspicious is what it says. You have had no right to discard her as trash, unlovable, unworthy as she rots away. You owe it to yourself, the kids, May's family, and the public to say where May is so that she can have a decent burial. She deserves it. You will remain unworthy, no respect, no honor until you reveal where she is. You will never ever be free until you tell where May is and she is located. While on this earth and dealing with the system, tell where May is and accept a plea bargain. You are a condemned man. Your soul is condemned. Only God can restore you by asking for forgiveness. The court can give or offer you a plea bargain. Your coworkers have no compassion for you. Your character at work is tarnished forever. You have tarnished your community and Solano Beach residents. Solano Beach residents are not pleased that you tainted their city by stating that you drove with your son to their city. They are not pleased. What do your parents think of you and the dishonor you have brought upon the family name? I hope that they are not part of May's disappearance and are encouraging you to tell the truth. The Millete family name is tarnished by you. There is no honor in the family name. Restore honor to the family. You have no right to be called dad. If and again I say, if you truly love the kids, maybe you don't or never love them, tell the truth. Do your plea bargaining so families can begin to heal. Reveal where May is. Bring closure to everyone. Larry, it's time to begin closure. Plea bargain. It's very hard to do it for the kids if you care about them. This is the handgun safety certificate. California Department of Handgun Safety. Find firearms. That's a place where they purchase firearms. Firearm safety certificate. 10-year service award. 28th of March 2015. Presented with pleasure to Larry Millete in grateful recognition and appreciation for your faithful and valued service to the Department of the Navy and the government of the United States. And then we've got this one. Star Performer Certificate of Appreciation presented to Mr. Larry Millete with deep gratitude and appreciation for your outstanding customer service to merit your nomination as Star Performer for November 2014. You should take personal pride in your nomination and in the fact that your positive attitude and sincere concern for those you provided service to have been noted and were greatly appreciated. It gives me great pleasure to extend my appreciation for a job well done. Naval Medical Center, San Diego. Official recognition and praise is hereby given to Mr. Larry Millete in recognition for his outstanding work as the safety representative for the optometry department for the fiscal year 2014. He continually ensures safety is a priority within the department. Ensured safety inspections are smooth. Deficiencies are corrected in a timely manner, and required documentation is provided to the Command Safety Office. His contributions have ensured the commanding officer safety program is successful. Well done. Naval Medical Center, San Diego, Certificate of Outstanding Performance for Mr. Larry Millete in recognition of outstanding contributions as Safety Representative, Naval Medical Center, San Diego Safety and Occupational Health Program from 1st of October 2016 to the 30th of September 2017. Your commitment to high reliability helped foster a safe and helpful work environment for your shipmates and patients alike. BZ on a job well done. Then Commanding Officer, Naval Medical Center, San Diego takes pleasure in presenting the Commanding Officer's Cup to the Optometry Department. Okay, so the Optometry Department he worked for. Then we have letter of appreciation from Department of the Navy. Your professionalism, initiative, and willingness to accomplish the mission, no matter what the circumstances, exemplifies the Navy's core values and the command's guiding principles. You have demonstrated the ability to communicate clearly, inspire, and motivate your subordinates and peers to accomplish any task within or outside the realm of your expected duties. Okay, great. Then here's some pictures that were mentioned. Pictures again. Pictures, black and white and grainy. This is County of San Diego Health and Human Services. This is Health and Human Services Agency Child Welfare Services and it says, Dear Mr. and Mrs. Millete, on February 3rd, 2021, a referral was received by the Child Welfare Services alleging abuse and or neglect for your children. After conducting an investigation, we have concluded that this referral may be closed effective March 15th, 2021. If you have any questions or you'd like additional information or services, now my thing just went black, okay, in your community, please feel free to call me. And then we've got this, which is the filing. This letter is written, a letter of character for Mr. Larry Millete. I've known Larry since 2001, starting from our days on active duty while serving at the hospital corpsman at Naval Medical Center, San Diego, California. I have known Larry to be of good morals, behavior, and attitude that exemplify the trademark of an outstanding sailor. I can remember Larry being recognized for such attributes through formal recognition. Okay, we saw that. Naturally, our time spent together professionally did spawn a friendship and rapport outside of work. His character outside the workplace was not any less than what was witnessed while in uniform. I've known Larry to be a good father, husband, and friend. He was well liked, and many would agree that Larry is of good character. I recall an instance of when he invited me to a gathering at his residence. Upon arriving at the gathering, a family member of his offered me an alcoholic beverage. I kindly accepted and asked Larry if he will be drinking with me. He politely declined and says he doesn't drink and cited that it's not good to drink. The level of contemplation further demonstrated his self-morals and good character. On another occasion, I recall Larry proudly showing me pictures of his family. In all, I can attest of Larry being of good character. I wish Larry well in his endeavors. Should the reader of this letter have any questions regarding the contents of this letter, they can reach me by email. And this is to whom it may concern. I'm a medical administrative officer at the Naval Medical Center in San Diego. I am Mr. Millette's supervisor. I am writing this letter as a character reference for him. I have known Mr. Millete for over 19 years. He has always been a solid person. When he asked me to write a reference letter for him, I told him I would be delighted to oblige. I met Larry Millete while serving in the military, and after meeting him over 19 years ago, we both decided to continue serving our nation and began working as civilian employees. He got out of the military approximately 2 years before I did. We both work at the medical center. He has always been an upright character in his community and a stellar employee. Since I have known him, Larry Millete has always been a person of integrity, morality, and respect. Mr. Larry Millete has always possessed a positive attitude, a strong work ethic, is trustworthy, and an honorable person. He is a positive role model, a model citizen, and a good human being. I declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of California that this aforementioned is true and correct. Got another witness. This is testimony. I am writing a character reference letter in support of Larry. Let's see what this is. In the 5 years that I have been working with Mr. Millete, I have found him to be one of the most dependable and reliable employees in the clinic. He shows up every day on time and ready to work. He is very focused and sees all tasks through to completion. He has a very positive attitude and interacts very well with his coworkers. In my years here, I have never had to deal with a complaint from patients or staff regarding Mr. Millete. He has even been submitted for a civilian of the quarter award to the command here on more than one occasion. While I have not had any interaction with Mr. Millete outside of the workplace directly, in conversations with others that I have learned, he dedicates most of his work time to his family. He is a proud husband and father and has always spoken lovingly about his wife and children. And here's another testimony. Let's see. During the time I came to befriend Larry, having first met in basic training at the Naval Training Center, Great Lakes, Illinois, our military paths briefly separated before converging again in mid-2001 when we were classmates in a naval ophthalmic training support activity. During this time frame, I came to befriend both Larry and his wife, Maya. Like my then wife and I, Mr. and Mrs. Malletti, were more or less high school sweethearts. As a fellow young married couple with similar cultural backgrounds, we shared a few evening dinners culminating with spirited games of Scrabble at the Millete household. Our careers and life paths would not separate again as we were both stationed at the Naval Medical Center, San Diego, when we served out our enlistment terms before taking posts as civil servants. To date, we have worked together both in an enlisted and civilian capacity since December 7th, 2001. In contrast to myself, Mr. Millete has always been a stellar performer and a constant philanthropist with his time. Mr. Millete proved his warmth, kindness, and dedication to excellence as less a show of practice attributes and more a show of his true character. His steadfastness, commitment towards being a colleague to admire and imitate has never ceased in the 2 decades of shared service here at the San Diego.
Sure, I don't know if that's the problem.
Hello?
What if it's over here?
Let me see. Hello, I think I fixed it now. It's fixed
did?
now. Yeah.
Okay.
I think they can hear me now. And I've lost I don't know all the people because
Let me see if the back camera's right.
they couldn't hear me. You can hear me now? Can you hear me now? That's the other video, not this live stream. Yes, no, I'm here.
Let me see if I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay, I don't know where you lost me, but it was going through the glowing recommendations, right, of Larry, a glowing guy who allegedly killed his wife. That's where we were. You heard most of that, right? It was just at the very end. You didn't hear it? Okay. Did you just miss the very end of those recommendations? Does anybody need me to go back and do any of that? I'm not going to do that, but I'll tell you that, you know, the timeline of this was just, so let's see. That was his response, okay, to the gun violence restraining order. That was 80 pages of that document. I can put a link to the document. Let me, I can put a link in the video description. Third search warrant was conducted on July 1st. On July 22nd, Larry was named an official person of interest. Okay, and that's where we are. And then we have an arrest today on October 19th. Now you're up to speed. I think that's about the size of it. I think someone turned on the stove. You muted and audio never came back. I didn't mute. So it just went out. I didn't mute. You're completely lost with this, Jack. You need to go back. You need to go back in the playlist. All right, but I'm going to let you guys go. Let me just see if there's the arrest. I was trying to see if the arrest warrant was out, right? That's what I was trying to see when we went through that. Let me just see if anything, you know, if I can see if the arrest warrant is out. Let me just, come on. My computer's acting so whacked. Hold on a minute. Let me try and close some of these things here that are open. Okay. Got that. I'm going to close that. Okay. Let me close this. Okay. And I'm going to close this. Now I'm going to hope that I'm going to check. Not seeing it there. Let me just see if I... Okay, let's just go over this real quick. Larry, the husband of Maya Millete, a Chula Vista mother of 3, was last seen alive at the start of the year, January 7th, 2021. Was taken into custody Tuesday and charged with her murder. Today, the Chula Vista Police Department announcing the arrest of Larry Millete for the murder of his wife, May. Chula Vista Police said in a news release, the first inkling that there had been a major development in the case. Later in the afternoon, Chula Vista Police Chief Roxana Kennedy, San Diego County District Attorney Summer Stephan, and members of the Chula Vista Police Department, many of whom were wearing purple ribbons to raise awareness for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, provided more details on the development, including the fact that Larry was taken into custody at 11:41 earlier that day. I thought it was 11:42. He was alone at the time of his arrest, Kennedy told the crowd. I didn't hear that. I heard that the children were the top priority. I didn't. Which responded to the statements with loud cheers. The primary goal was to bring May back to her family or bring justice to the person or persons responsible for her disappearance, Kennedy said. Law enforcement officials tend to favor the victim's given name. Okay. And have adopted the usage of the name Maya that she was called by family and friends. Kennedy said 67 search warrants had been served, 87 interviews conducted, and 130 tips reviewed, with thousands of hours poured into the investigation. These efforts generated a variety of pieces of evidence that have become clear and overwhelming. Larry Millete, May's husband, is responsible for May's murder and disappearance. Kennedy said Tuesday that was a step towards justice, but that Larry's arrest was not the end of the investigation. I pray every day that we find May and give closure to your family. Malletti faces 2 charges, says Stephan, who told those assembled outside the headquarters that her office filed criminal complaint on Monday. Count 1, she said, alleged that Larry had killed Maya in violation of Penal Code 187, murder. The second count had to do with the illegal possession of an assault rifle. Sometimes missing persons cases remain unsolved, but as the evidence unfolded in this case, meticulously and carefully, block by block, it pointed in one direction. May was murdered. The only thing that we can do is face the senseless violence is to bring justice. It is very unusual, though not unheard of, for prosecutors to move forward with the charge of murder in the absence of a body. But she addressed that too, and the fact that Maya has still not been located. Quote her saying, as we make this announcement, we understand that there are some questions about the fact that May's body is still missing. There is a case that we will be using that makes it even more clear that a missing body is circumstantial evidence that there was foul play and that it was murder because someone who takes their own life cannot hide their body. The hearts of the community are broken, she went on to say. And she provided a brief synopsis of the evidence against Larry, stating that an unsealed portion of the arrest warrant includes evidence that would not compromise the prosecution's case and does not contain elements that would taint prospective jurors. And she said that Maya wanted a divorce for many reasons, describing their relationship as toxic, but that said that Larry would not have it. In homicide cases, there is often a triggering event. In this case, January 7, 2021, May was no longer talking about divorce. She took that step. And the last call recorded that May made was to a divorce attorney. She did not make any further calls. Stephan said that now that Larry was in custody, she hoped people with information about the case may be less fearful of coming forward. We've experienced that repeatedly, Stephan said. Now is the time. We hope that you can come forward. Jimmy? What he's doing here. He's scaring me. He's leave something cooking here. That you can come forward. Hold on, I don't even know what I'm in here. If you have any information. In a new wrinkle in the case, Stephan said that Alexis was believed to transport Maya's body and asked the community members to jog their memory about possible sightings of Alexis pulled over or parked anywhere in the county or region on January 8th of 2021. She also revealed for the first time that Larry had been visiting spellcasters persons purporting to wield magical powers of persuasion before May disappeared in an effort to make her want to stay in the relationship. I've never had a case where this was involved, but as of December of 2020 came, those messages to spellcasters were a lot more threatening. He was asking for May to become incapacitated, for May to have an accident, to be in an accident, to have broken bones so that she could stay at home, thus displaying his homicidal ideations to harm May. Maya scheduled an appointment with a divorce lawyer for January 12th, Stefan said, adding that Maya was unable to set it up for January 7th because a party was planned for their daughter's birthday. The afternoon of January 7th, Larry Millete set up a really telling text. He said, "I think she wants me to snap, and I'm shaking inside, ready to snap." The last activity recorded coming from Maya's phone was on January 8th at 1:25 a.m., according to the prosecutor, who also said that on the following day, Larry's spellcaster messages turned their focus away from Maya and towards a man whom Larry blamed for his failed relationship. Malletti is scheduled to be arraigned at 1:30 p.m. on Thursday in the South Bay courthouse. Suspects being held on murder charges are typically held without bail, as Larry is. Okay, then Mary Chris spoke out. Okay. Let's see here. Jimmy? I don't know where he went. This is crazy. Okay. Hang on for 1 minute. Let me just hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Hang on. I hope you can still hear me because I don't know why this is saying I'm on mute here, but okay. Let's see here. Now, Larry has always maintained that he has nothing to do with his wife's disappearance, and we saw Mary Chris. She was emotional. She said, "This is family. They've known him, X number of years. This is very, very hard," and it was heartbreaking. But I'm going to let you guys go and see what's going on over here. We can talk more about this tonight as more comes out. But let me see here. I just can't get back to my place over here. Okay, so we will talk about this more later. Good. Sparks, they were supposed to be held by... I'll have to read your questions later. All right, but I'm going to go so we can get this going. I didn't realize this was going to happen. I had been doing chestnuts all afternoon, and I cleaned up the deck and all of that stuff. But I'll be back later, and we can talk about it more, okay? God bless. Prayers for Maya and her family. See you guys later.